Okay, this is the latest version of Artistier 4.2 Final, and I can show you what it can be done with Artistier and wptuxedo05F, which was released probably about 2 hours ago. So I'm going to use this template. I'm calling it Orlando, and I'm using I've got a header, of course. In it, I've got two positions, one called logo, the other one BT1. Um, the one in the logo, we can put a logo in it from the backside, and over here in the BTE1, you can put a mini shopping cart for your WooCommerce or social icons or anything else you want. Under the logo, that is not visible right now, I've got the site name. Okay, I've got a slider under the menus, which after exporting um, the theme with um, Tuxedo, I went ahead and replaced it completely with a responsive slider. That's the name of the plugin. So let's see it in action. Got set up in the on my local server. Now I have to admit, 90% of it is done by Tuxedo, but I've got few adjustments made to the CSS code um, with using macro themers. So what you see right now, the result is of about 20 to 30 minutes of work after the code was exported. Um, so this is I've got sample content. I've got WooCommerce working perfectly. Um, there's the responsive slideshow, and I made it with CSS. I made it so that it only displays on the home page. Although I can turn it on any page or any block uh, post that I want to turn on, I can do so, and I'll show you in a second. So the good thing about using an external slider is, of course, you can change its settings, the images from the backside. So as you can see on any page that I go, uh, the um, the slider is not there, only on the home page. And I'm gonna, just to show you, I'm gonna turn it on. Let's say for this page. So let me edit it really quickly. The way it's set up, all I have to do is go to a page, turn on the slider, update the page, and this particular page now is going to have the slider as well. So no slider, go to the short coach page, and there it is. Okay, very nice and simple. And of course, I can always go to the slides, and I can edit the slides or add as many slides as I want. Whatever you put in the title is going to be shown as a description. You can put a URL on each image, and you can use the featured image for the actual slideshow image. Alright, so we're here for Tuxedo, however. So I'm going to show you really quickly uh, how does it work with WooCommerce. Everything is fully functioning. Everything looks good. Okay, so the shopping cart works as well. Let me update it, update the cart. Everything is fully functioning, and everything, the buttons work perfectly. The height of the coupon bar, um, coupon field matches with a button, which is not necessarily always the case with straight up Artistier templates. Um, Tuxedo makes my life, from now on, it's going to make my life much easier. Let's see what else I can do and how I set up. Now, remember the position logo, cult logo that I showed you in the Artisteer theme. Let me show you what I can do with it. So before doing that though, let me jump into the themes. And unlike Artisteer themes or Template themes are even worse, I'm going to test it with the WordPress theme check and also the theme forest check. So it's going to do 2 checks at once. Both plugins are installed, both the theme check and also the theme forest check. So if I go check it, after 9,657 tests, this particular theme passes the test. So we're good to go. Is according to the WordPress standards. That's why if you find a plugin that works with the 2011 or 2012 or even 2013 default themes, it's going to work with this particular theme. If it doesn't work, then something is wrong with the plugin. It's as simple as that. In Artisteer themes, that is not always the case. For example, this particular plugin that shows the mini cart in the navigation bar, I believe that's called WooCommerce menu cart. It doesn't work with Templateer themes, and it doesn't work with Artisteer themes. But with wptuxedo, just activate the plugin and it works perfectly. So that's that. Alright, so let me go and I want to put a logo instead of using the site name and the slogan. So the first thing that you're going to notice, by the way, is that Tuxedo themes do not have an option screen. There are no options. Instead of the options, Trevor did something better. He moved everything to the WordPress customize screen. Now, why is the customize better? Because unlike option screens, with a customized screen, you got a live preview. As you make your changes on the left side, on the left pane, you're gonna see live what are you doing exactly to your website. So I'm gonna go and remove the slogan and the header. So don't show the title and don't show the tagline. They're gone. Okay, we're gonna come back to this, but before doing that, let me stick my logo. So in order for me to do that, again, I need to go to my widgets, and I've installed a widget called image widget, and I'm gonna go to the position that I had created an Artisteer called logo, and I'm gonna stick my image widget. I've got to save one over here in there. If I open it, you can put a title, but in this case don't put a title. You don't want the title to be shown. I put a link and I put it to the home page. Stay in the same window, otherwise you're gonna open in a new window. And I've got the custom size of 500 width. Okay, I'm gonna come back afterwards and show you about the theme display options, because that's pretty cool too. So I'm gonna click on the save, and let's see. There it is. There's my logo. So I replaced it fairly easily with a plugin. This was possible, of course, because I've created that logo position in Artisteer. Otherwise, I could have used the head widget area that comes with Artisteer by default, but I had to edit my CSS and be able to place it, move it around. Otherwise, it was going to be in the top left corner. Alright, that's that. So let me show you now. Let's go back to the widgets and let me show you one of the coolest things in Tuxedo. If I go to, and this you can do this with any widget. So if I go to theme display options, there's one thing that you don't see. It's disable bullets. So if there is a widget, and you can do this in pages and posts, by the way, that are displaying bullets, and you don't want to show the bullets, and this is the case usually with plugins that display tabs and um, accordions and stuff like that, and you want to disable them, all you have to do is click on it and they're disabled. Um, we have something similar to this, where you want this, in which pages you want the particular widget to be displayed or not. That filters out. But at the very bottom, this is something cool that is new with WP Tuxedo. So in this particular case, by default, it's going to be shown in any device. So we got desktop, tablet, and phone. But just for testing, just for giggles, I want to display it in desktop and phone only. So in the tablet, is not going to be shown. So let me save this and let's see it in action. So this is a desktop view. When I move to the tablet view, it's going to disappear, and then when I move back into the phone, it's going to appear. I think this is the one of the coolest features. So for any of the widgets, I can do the same thing. I can decide which devices can see a particular widget or not. Now we have a few more widgets areas added that we don't see in Artisteer by default. In Artisteer, by now, the experienced users, you should know that by default there's one header widget area, two in the navigation bar, two on the top of the content, two at the bottom of the content. You can have one or two sidebars, and you can have four in the footer area. Well, Trevor added four more on top of the content, so it's going to be at the where the slideshow is, throughout the width of the slideshow, and you can have four at the bottom. So what you can do if you don't want to mess with the code, and you still want to use a slideshow, you can do that fairly easily. So let me show you really quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the responsive slider. The way to do it is simply go to the plugins and disable it. Alright, so that's gone. So I'm gonna use the top page widget area to put another slider in there, and I've got one ready. It's called the meta slider, and I've got and you can do this as long as your slider has widget, can be used in a widget. Otherwise, you can put the shortcode in a page or post, or you can put the PHP code in your template. But in this case, WP Tuxedo is going to allow me to do this much easier. So I'm going to go really quickly to the widgets area. I'm going to open the first top widget area. I've got the meta slider ready to go. Okay, it's the 1000 times 300. That's the name that I gave it. I'm going to go ahead and say to show it only in the home front page. Okay, I'm going to save this, and we're good to go. There it is. And if I go to any other page, it's not going to be shown. It's as simple as that. Alright, so let's see what we can do with the customize option. So we've got the site title and tagline. You can turn them on and off. Right now they're off. You got the navigation, which I'm using the custom menu for it. You can set your blog's navigations, whether they're going to be on top or at the bottom. You can set up your if you want to use a static page or your latest post for your home page, your front page. Another cool thing is whether to turn off the responsive design or turn it on. Right now, by default, it's been turned off. There it is. Something is not working right. Let me fix it really quickly. It has nothing to do with Tuxedo or Artisteria. It has to do with my error, and you're gonna see it in a second. There it is. Those arrows, I forgot to take them out. Now, that's one of my custom codes that I put in the theme. So let's go back to customize. Alright, here we go. Responsive design by default is turned on, and this is what I'm talking about. That code was putting the name menu on the hamburger, on the navigation button. Alright, so right now the responsive menus are on. I can always turn it off and choose on a maximum zoom in value if I wanted to, and as you can see clearly it's turned off. Of course I would always have it turned on. Double check that it's working. Yes, it is. Alright, so that's pretty cool. We got the post meta, and those are basically on your blog. These are the actual headers over here. If you want how you want, you can have up to 4 things shown for both the header and the footer for each one, for each post. So I've got the date and author, and at the footer I've got the categories and comments, as you can see, and tags, and you can put line breaks between them if you want. So if I put a line break, you're gonna get it, otherwise not. Now then we have the heading tags. You can turn on or off each of the widget areas. So if you don't want to see a widget area in the widget screen, you can turn it off from here, and you can decide how they're going to display it by simple text or block or whatever. You can change the favorite icon that you can set up within Artisteria. If you want to enable font awesome or not, and there's documentation that comes with it how to use the font awesome. And let's go to the next very important part when it comes to the archive and search pages. Right now I'm showing you by default how Artisteria shows the blogs. wptuxedo, one of the cool things that it does is we can show them in a grid. But before that, let me turn on the excerpts. Okay, and you can set you know, for the read more text, and you can turn the link on, Now it's a link, and I want to show the featured image as well. Okay, let's go and make it more presentable. Sort of thumbnail, let's go make it custom. Let's leave it 150, but I want to say the alignment to be on the left side. Okay, very good. And finally, I'm going to show it in a grid of 2 columns, and I can change it all the way to 4 columns. I can adjust the number of the excerpt, how many words. So let's say 20. Okay, and I can go all the way to 4 grids. Okay, the way that I prefer it, it's 2 columns and 50 or 55 sounds just about right. Okay, can put your footer information down there. And finally, when it comes to WooCommerce, whether to show the breadcrumbs of the page, or if you want to override the products per page, how many, if the number of grids, the number of columns, and how many products do you want per page. Basically, that's about it. I can go in much more detail of what else I'm doing to my themes. For example, and I'm doing a number of things, many things. For example, automatically adding shadows to the images, which adds a nice 3D effect. If you notice, by default, the lightbox in WooCommerce opens with a white background, which I don't like. I made it darker. I changed the size of the price. The color of the price is controlled by WooCommerce. So I do some customization, but what you see right now, 90% of it, probably more than that, it's WP Tuxedo. It's all its work. And before going, let me show you what else I was working on 2 days ago with the earlier version. So I had to do more customization. This is one of them. This is with Tuxedo 3.42. Still everything works perfectly. The real difference between the two is I don't have the as far as WooCommerce goes, I had to do more work to make it look perfectly. And let me show you the last example. It's Valencia, and this probably is my favorite. It's got a full width, screen width slider on the home page, and the text, the letters are a little bit bigger than the usual. So and everything else works perfectly in all views, whether you are in responsive views or not. So that's it with WP Tuxedo. If you need to do more with your Artisteer themes, you need to get this plugin. Otherwise, your life is going to be hell if you wanna take your themes, your Artisteer themes, to the next level.